What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to show you how to clean and maintain your Stoeger STR9 pistol. Let's get down to the tabletop and check it out. Alright guys, we are back at a tabletop review. Big shout out to the amazing people over at Aegis Gun Care. As you guys know, they sponsor the podcast, and they're one of our first companies to ever actually work with us, send us product out. We love them like family, so give Aegis Gun Care a look. As you can tell, we're going to be using Aegis Gun Care products. That's what I use exclusively on my own firearms. If you use code JOJUICE, you're going to save yourself 10% off on your entire order, not just on products like the lubricant and the cleaner, but on t-shirts, hats, cleaning kits which we're going to show you, patches, mugs. Check out aegisguncare.com and make sure you're using that code JOJUICE. Alright, so man, I know that pisses everybody off when I do that. And guys, we're on padded mats here. I've seen the comments on some other videos that we've done saying, I can't believe you're throwing that gun around. I'm not going to throw a gun around on anything that's not padded down. So, you know, knock it off in that comment section. But do me a favor. If you still want to comment that stuff, make sure you're hitting subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell, because you will be notified when videos like this go live. So, with all that jibber jabber, this is what we're going to be cleaning today. You guys know I love the Stoeger STR9. This is, just a regular full size. We have a Holosun 507. Nope, there's a 407C X2, so this is the green dot 407, doesn't have the circular depth reticle. This is a 9mm, this is kind of like a mix between a poor man's VP9, a Glock, and with some, you know, maybe M&P slide serrations. This is an amazing pistol. I absolutely love it. The only downside about the Stoeger STR9 is I'm having trouble finding a holster for it. I wish North Coast Tactical made a holster, because I use that almost exclusively on my Glocks. If I could find a holster that fit this gun, I'd be carrying it. That's how much I love it. Alright, so let's get into it. Obviously, these things break down like a Glock, but before we get into it and before we start cleaning, we want to make sure this gun is safe and clear. There's no magazine in the mag well, and there's nothing in the chamber. As you can tell, I can put my finger in there. There's nothing in there. So for YouTube's purposes, this gun is safe and clear. What you're going to need are some basic essentials. We're going to put this to the side for a second. I'm not going to slam it down on wood. We're going to be using the field kit from Aegis Gun Care. This thing has everything from 9 to up to 45. You can get shotgun cleaning supplies. You can get 22 cleaning supplies. Sorry about that, my memory card just kind of did this funky thing. I don't understand what that's about, but you know, hey, we're just gonna roll with it. But we, like I said, are using the Aegis Gun Care cleaning kit. You have a ton of stuff in here. You get a microfiber cloth, which I recommend using. Obviously, you get your jags, your brushes. So you're gonna need a nylon brush. You got a little baggie with all your pull-through rods and bore brushes in here. You get, there's a little business card, thanks for your purchase, from Aegis Gun Care. So you get obviously a description of what. They also add in a Walk the Talk America card. They do some stuff with Walk the Talk America. Then you're gonna get some cotton swabs. You get, this is for, you can, if you have like rifles or something like that. We're not gonna be using this large of a pull-through rod, but if I can figure this out. Yes, look at that. You can untwist this, so we're going to use this for the pistol. I don't really like using like the actual rods itself, just because it, you know, I've broken stuff. I have to actually order more of these, but you get these long Q-tips which are going to come in handy. We're going to use those, and you have enough room in here to fit obviously your extra Joe Juice and cleaner. So, but yeah, that is what the field maintenance kit is. Let's show you how to break this down. Alright, so what we're going to do, like I said, there's nothing in the chamber. Alright, cool. So we're going to pull this back just like a Glock. I usually take my grip just like that, this little pocket between your thumb and your index finger on the beaver tail. Pull it back. You're going to have these two takedown tabs right here. We're going to push it down just like a Glock. So we're going to pull it back with our index finger, holding it, push these two tabs down, so now it is retained, the slide is being captured. You can dry fire it, boom, there you go, comes off just like a Glock. So we're gonna put the frame aside, take the recoil spring out, and also take the barrel out. and that's how you field strip for cleaning and maintaining the gun. So let's get into how we usually do and start with the slide. All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna put the frame apart. We're gonna put the barrel out, take the recoil spring out. Now we're gonna use the cleaner. This stuff literally is the best cleaner in the game. It eats up all the carbon and it makes your job so much easier when cleaning your pistol. I've used this cleaner for years and I've seen it literally eat some of the worst carbon that's been caked up on there. So I'm just gonna spray a little bit of a spritz right in there, and just make sure you don't get, if you have an optic on here, sometimes people put like tape over it, but you know, that's what the little cloth, microfiber cloth is for. I usually get right on top of the breech face right here. Breech face is this section right here where the striker is priming it. So we're gonna let that sit for a minute, but since we already have it out, we're gonna do the barrel. So the barrel is where it gets really dirty, get all down in there. All right, cool, we're gonna let that sit. And while we're at it, we're also gonna get the frame sprayed down with the cleaner. So if you can't check that out right there, this is a fairly dirty gun. Right now this has about 600 rounds through it and I haven't cleaned it once. Looks very similar to a Glock. I could almost venture to say that a Glock trigger can work in here. I haven't tested that out, but maybe we should. If you guys think we should try to see if a Glock trigger works in the Stoeger STR9, comment below and let's see if that actually works, because that would actually be pretty dope. So we're just gonna spray right in the trigger housing, trigger, rails. All right, cool. Now, recoil spring, you know, if you follow these clean lubricate videos, you really don't have to worry about the recoil spring. Take your microfiber cloth, get all the carbon off there. There's really nothing on there, so put that to the side. So we're gonna let this sit, and then we're gonna show you how to clean it with the cleaner. Okay, now that it's been about 2 minutes, we're gonna take our nylon brush that's provided in the Aegis Gun Care Field Cleaning Kit, and we're gonna start with the slide. Just start scrubbing away. And the good thing is this stuff kind of evaporates relatively quickly, but before we get into lubrication, we're gonna make sure it's pretty much dry. So we're gonna get on the slide rails, get in the front of the slide, get all up in there. I haven't cleaned my own guns for a while, actually, so I actually gotta have a whole cleaning session of a ton of guns. I haven't even cleaned my AR that I just built, and I put probably about a couple hundred rounds through it now. And usually with cleaning, guys, don't go too crazy on it. There's that old adage of every time you shot your gun, you had to clean the gun. Nowadays, better quality parts, you really don't have to. My carry Glock is sitting on over 3,000 rounds. I haven't cleaned it. So don't act like you gotta go nuts with cleaning. So I'm getting kind of right on the breech face here. Again, we're gonna go over what to do with your optic, but don't get too crazy with it. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna ruin it. These things are built tough. All right, clean right out here where the ejection is, near the extractor. And again, this isn't that dirty, but it could use a cleaning. All right, and we're gonna get back here, scrub where the striker assembly is. Even inside the slide, guys, the STR9 looks almost identical to a Glock. Get that all nice. Okay, put that to the side. Now we're gonna move down to the barrel. Now, what I usually do is I go breech to muzzle, or feed ramp to muzzle. So kind of back to front, breech to the business end, whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna get all that nice and scraped off. This is where a lot of your carbon is gonna be. Get all up in there. Again, this isn't that dirty. I usually stop. I focus pretty much on the feed ramp because that's where you're gonna get a lot of stovepipes. All right, so from this point, what we're gonna do is Aegis provides these little cleaning cloths that you're able to use. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a dual purpose because I don't have a pen or a rod to jam down here. All right, so we're gonna use the double-sided Q-tip, and we're gonna pop this down here. All right. Okay, get that nice and clean. Now this is over a couple hundred rounds, a few hundred rounds. There's really nothing on there. All right. So, but what we want to do just to make sure is we're gonna take our barrel brush that's provided in the field kit. They have a deluxe kit as well that has a couple other calibers, so just be on the lookout for that. And what is that? There's a 9mm. The Aegis kit is going to have 9mm on the bore brush, but just be aware, guys, some kits will say 357 right here to designate what caliber this is meant for. 357 is the same size projectile as a 9mm. So if you're like trying to get new bore brushes and you're like, I don't know what to get, you want to get a 357. So I'm going to screw that onto this little pistol pull-through cord. Drop that on here, drop that through here. We're going to pull this through a couple times. And use the T-handle because I'm not looking to hurt myself. I'm known to hurt myself from time to time. So we're going to pull that breech or feed ramp to muzzle. There we go. All right, now the only downside is we're going to do this again. Pull it through a couple times. Twist this back on, and then from there we're gonna make sure we're gonna push that same cloth through because there's really nothing on there. So we're gonna, there we go. Now from here, what I usually do is I'm gonna do one final spritz because we just got whatever carbon that was in the lands and grooves. We're gonna take that same patch, and if I can pick up the Q-tip, that would be good. We're going to jam this down there. Just one single patch. Patches are really cheap, guys, so don't act like you got to conserve them. You can get like a pack of like 500 for $10. All right, cool. So now we get that final brush out of there. This is what is pretty much in the bore. You can barely see it, but you can tell, yeah, that got a lot more dirty inside there. All right, cool. So now that's actually pretty dry, to be quite honest. We're going to move to the frame. That's been sitting for a little bit, and I can already see on the feed ramps, this is gonna clean up just right. So you're gonna take your nylon brush again and start cleaning. Okay, fine tune it. This wasn't that dirty because I don't shoot crazy stuff out of these guns, so. Okay, get that all nice and shiny. Alrighty, get all that excess stuff in here. Now, if you have excess cleaner, obviously it's going to evaporate, but just take a patch. You don't have to be a clean patch, and just get the excess up. All right. And then what I do is I take a Q-tip sometimes, and I'll go right on the trigger guard because, excuse me, carbon gets caked up right on the trigger, the back of the trigger itself. So you take a Q-tip like this and get that carbon out of there. It's not going to affect your shooting, but I'm kind of a neat freak, and some people that I clean guns for, they like it to be like off the factory floor. And these are also good. Look how much carbon is on there, if that will focus. Not going to focus. All right, there we go. Look how much carbon is on there. That is just from the inside of the trigger guard, where the trigger bar rides in the frame. So I always kind of get down in there. This is literally like the inside of a Glock. It's hilarious. So get all that and flip it around because it's double-sided. Get inside the trigger housing, and there's like nothing in there. All right, cool. So we're gonna get on to lubrication, and we're gonna show you how to put this back together just now. Alrighty, so now we're gonna get our like brushes to the side, make sure all that stuff's out of the way. We're gonna need a microfiber cloth on this one. We're not gonna need any of the bore brushes or anything like that. We will need one or two clear clean patches. So you go into your kit and you get the clean patches, as I'm doing it off camera. All right, so 1 and 2, there you go. These are pretty decently thick patches, so you'll see exactly what we're doing just in a minute. I'm just making sure I got all my stuff organized because I hate losing tools. But guys, it's also good because if you run out of stuff like this, Aegis actually sells these bore brushes. They sell the patches, the Q-tips, everything. So you can be a one-stop shop and get all your cleaning supplies through Aegis Gun Care. They even sell these mats too. I love these mats. They have a rifle size and a pistol. We're using the pistol right now. You know it's time for the Joe Juice. Remember, use code JOEJUICE for 10% off your entire order. They are one of the biggest supporters of the channel, and I swear by this. You don't have to use this on guns. You can use it on your chainsaw. You can use it on squeaky door hinges. You name it. You can use it on literally everything. I don't recommend eating it or putting it in waffles. From what I hear, it's not going to kill you if it gets inside your body, but don't recommend it. So, you know, I feel like I got to put that out there. All right, so this is how we're gonna do this, and people roast me in the comments. Everybody's different for cleaning your guns, but if you're watching this video, this is how I clean my guns, this is how I lube my guns. All right, I like the Aegis stuff because it's a little bit more liquidy, but it lasts forever and it preserves it. It has rust inhibitors in it. This little needle it's a $5 add-on I recommend getting, because I've literally poured this over by accident and it fell over and went all over my bench because it's a little bit liquidy. This stuff, it's a little bit more controlled for the flow of the lube when you put it on your handgun. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna drop some lubricant right there, right on these little feed ramps, all up on the breech block, right in here, right on top of your trigger bar right here, and then this little spot, your back rails right here, drop a little bit. The amount of lubricant you use is up to personal preference. I run my guns a little bit wet, so if you're watching this and you're like, oh, you're over lubricating, this is just how I like to run my guns. And if you want to run it like me, awesome. I run a little bit more lube than most, but again, that's just how I was taught, and that's how I prefer to run my guns. Then get it all right here on the back of the trigger bar and the connector, and that spring right back there. That's why this needle is good, because this spring right here, you can get the needle right behind there and boom, lubricate the spring. All right, so that's pretty much all set, but what I'm gonna do is, you can use your finger. If you have gloves on, it'd be better, but you don't have to. I get literally gun oil on my hands every day. I probably am gonna get some type of sickness from it, but wash that around, make sure that's all moved around good, get that all set. Bada boom, 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 boom. All right, cool. Frame is lubricated. Now let's go to the barrel. Take the same thing, drop a couple things right here on the top where all the action is going. Kind of twist it like you're lighting a cigar. Get the inside of the barrel lubed. Now, this is where the two patches come in. Now, this is pretty much all set. You don't have to do this, but guys, if you have a barrel that it's just one barrel, you're not gonna like get a lot of lead on your hands. I do recommend using gloves, but get it on all the contact points, and I usually just kind of put it down the strip on the front of the barrel and just kind of move it around like that. Now, the inside is what you want. So you're gonna take your first clean patch, take a dirty brush, a dirty Q-tip, just so you can push it down. You can use a cleaning rod. I don't recommend it for pistols. You don't really need it. I use the pull-through rod on mine. So you're just gonna drop this down. Okay, get the first sweep, and that, if you can tell, that's from the first sweep. You want to get it to the point where you kind of get nothing on there, but it does coat the inside of the barrel. Some people say you don't have to do this, but I was taught, so there you go. Nothing pretty much on there. I can pretty much reuse that one. All right, cool. So now your barrel is, for the most part, lubricated. Now, we're gonna move on to the slide. This is where the needle tip on the lubrication of Aegis Gun Care lubricant comes into play. Take the needle tip inside the front rail of the slide, move down, go in there, go in there. All right, cool. Now you can take a clean patch, move that all around, make sure you don't spill your lubricant. Go all up in there. You can take your Q-tip as a brush. You can also use a pick, a regular Q-tip itself. I like using the patches a little bit more than Q-tips, unless it's for like fine areas. Okay, get that all in there. Okay, now the breech face. It's already covered in lube, so you're just gonna wipe that off. Now another clean patch, you're worried about the front of your optic. Run that along there, make it all nice and clean, make sure there's nothing on there. Look through, and boom, you're all set. So now we're gonna show you how to reassemble your Stoeger STR9. And like I said, guys, your hand's gonna be a little bit oily, so all you do is just kind of get that oil on your recoil spring. If you want to put the oil that's on a patch, you don't gotta worry about the recoil spring. It's really not that big a deal. All right, cool. So you barrel in your slide like that. Take a recoil spring, pop that in here. Okay, your slide is complete. Now, take your frame, line up these two rear points with these two front points that you already lubricated. Get it all nice and lined up like this. Okay, you're at this point, and then just like any Glock or any striker fire, pull back, and you are clean. So now your oily gun is like that from oiling it. Obviously it's clear. You're gonna take your microfiber cloth and just wipe it all down. And then just for good measure, I always put a couple more drops right on the top of the barrel. Move that around, get that inside and out. Get the interior off. All right, cool. Guys, this is how you clean and maintain your Stoeger STR9 using Aegis Gun Care. I've been using it for years. I absolutely love this product. Please do me a favor and check out Aegis Gun Care and use code JOJUICE for 10% off your entire order. Stay safe, stay shooting. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.